your most powerful ability in the game acquired, the run is going to get quite a bit more crazy very soon.
It's absolutely massive, Toadette. Grips just took a few deaths getting sent back to that safety station.
I heard you guys like lore, right? Well, we have go fast left, we have go fast up with enemy, we have go fast down, and now we have go fast up without enemy. Charge jump acquired.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the 2022 Ori and the Blind Forest Definitive Edition All Skills Tournament. We're still in the qualifiers today, just the final week in the qualifiers, qualifier number 20. And of the 8 runners that are participating in this qualifier, we're going to be featuring here on the restream, Prim versus OG, not Hal. There's some technical difficulties, but Hal is actually joining me on commentary. My name is Lan Almanar. So, Hal, excited about this match? How you feeling?
Oh, I'm very excited about this. Prim and OG are both excellent longtime runners of this game, this category. They've both got excellent times, and OG is sticking to his preference. We're having a little battle of the control methods today, with OG on controller and Prim on keyboard and mouse.
Yeah, and OG is actually one of the few runners here that in this tournament that runs on controller. There's not actually that many that do now, but yeah, it's an exciting match. Both runners do have some good times in this tournament, and are also potentially relatively close to each other, within a few minutes at least. Prim, what you'd say, is probably at least slightly favored based on time so far in the qualifiers. He has completed 3 so far with an average time of just over 30 minutes flat, whereas OG's one time is just a few minutes slower than that. So should still be a close match, as we started here in just a few minutes.
Yeah, and as we've said, Prim is definitely the favored runner based on the averages we've seen, but anything can happen in Ori and the Blind Forest, especially in that late game. One death can wipe out those 2 minutes of advantage just like that, and we can have quite the race. And I'm sure OG is going to be doing his best to keep it a race as long as he can.
Yeah, and especially as you're saying, some of the late game things, especially the faster you try to go, the more time that you could potentially lose. And there's a lot of tricks that can be very hard in the late game that can make some times, and even in the early game too, that can make the run take a lot of the run time, the difference in the race time change very quickly. And so yeah, we're gonna start it here in just a few seconds now, and it's time. So the countdown gonna start. So we're gonna make our way into the start of this qualifier race.
Yep, starting off with, of course, the most important skip to nail in the entire run, saving 10 whole minutes here with the prologue skip. Both of our runners, good. No soft locks here today.
Yeah, nice. Don't want to have to sit there and watch the prologue for 10 minutes. And definitely best skip in the run. And now we'll just be able to walk over to the left, make it down, just running and jumping for now. We don't have any other skills. As we make our way over to the left, get an energy cell, hopefully don't get hit by a rhino, and pick up sign.
Hugging the rhino is not recommended, but doesn't lose you at any time as long as you haven't taken damage on the way down. He only does 2 damage. We've got 3 health at this point, so not the end of the world if you do get hit. Both of our runners adroitly dodging that rhino, though.
So we get over here, we're just gonna make it straight down over to sign. A little close. Obviously, it's not that much that's happened so far, but a lot can still happen to change in the course of this run, even very quickly. So we're gonna see as we get into the Frankie fight. This is the first thing that really can take some technical skill to nail it fast. From on the left, missing 1 shot, and we'll be just a tiny bit ahead though going into here. but still very close as we're going to make our way through the rest of Glades.
Yeah, and we did see in that Frankie fight the little bit of difference between keyboard and mouse for Prim and controller for OG. OG pacing out his shots in order to get those Frankies down as quickly as possible. Both runners getting a little bit tripped up on that bounce pad. We are dead even.
Yeah.
And here again, we see, OG aiming out those sign shots as quickly as possible. Prim using his scroll wheel probably on his keyboard to get them out just a frame apart.
Like right up to the Ghost Star, and Prim there actually was at 1 HP going into that, so he had to kill the slime, and unfortunately that slime gave him a health drop, so now he's going to be stuck at 2 health and he's going to have to take a bit of damage, which will cost just a tiny bit of time going into here, so it's going to put OG slightly ahead as make our way. Both runners are going to be able to picking up this 4th health, so just some nice safety in the early game means that it doesn't really cost much time, is that they're not going to die really quickly here.
Yeah, and while this health cell is optional, by the end of the game we do need 5 health to make it through the final swim. Ooh, OG not killing the Bramble there before he pops down, taking a little bit of a beating from that slime, but gets through without dying.
Yeah, if he gets that if you do it quickly, then you can avoid taking the slime. It does save a tiny bit of time, so and it's not that much bad going back. You just take a bit of an extra damage boost. I know both the runners are trying to set up for the level up here and catch the XP, but they're gonna make their way down. Both get the level up in sync and make their way down to wall jump here. Good times for both runners so far.
Yeah, very solid times here to wall jump. Mid 320s is what is pretty typical for the all skills run, and we've got them both there, 325, 324 in that range. So both of our runners synced up on the trees as well. It doesn't get much closer than this.
Yeah, and OG is slightly behind on the timer, so exactly, but still very good, very close. A bit of trouble climbing up to the inner self from OG, so it's going to cost him just a tiny bit of time, but still, we're in Glades. It's still very early on, and a ton can happen from this point on to change the course of the run, as you make your way now out of Glades and over now to actually get some more movement skills that allowed us to do stuff that's not just running and jumping and climbing walls. That's going to be a dash in Blackroot Burrows.
Yep, OG doing that pretty tricky, actually, damage boost through that Bramble, showing a good high level of skill and comfort with Glades movement, which is very easy to mess up. And at this point in the game, you die, you go back a minute and a half.
Yeah, and for the reason why I saw Prim place a safety save down there, which means that you won't go back if he dies, which is nice since you have the extra energy, and placing saves in Glades, not something you see it a ton, but it's just some nice safety that doesn't cost anything at the end. As we're now going to see, leave Quick Flame here from Prim on the level up from the Save Anywhere to skip this 20-second cutscene, as OG is going to go for Magnet. So, bit of a difference here. Prim's going to have a bit of a more difficult time on the Frankie Walk. However, it does save some time later with being able to do more damage to the mini-boss in Ginso.
Yeah, and not a huge amount of time difference between the two strategies here, just what each runner is comfortable with. The Quick Flame does help to speed up a couple of other segments of the game as well. Specifically, Prim's not going to lose any time having to kill the Brambles in Death Gauntlet, which, oh no, OG falls into the pit. Good safety save. Doesn't lose hardly any time to that death. Good awareness on his part.
Yeah, because if he doesn't place a save there, he goes back to where he last saved from the save anywhere from the cutscene, which is about 30 seconds of a death there coming when he was on the way back. So it's a good save. Saves him almost about 25 seconds on that death there. As Prim moving up very quickly, gets the fast cycle on the platforms as OG's about to make it just to where he was now, and we're gonna make our way just outside the room for the dash tree in just about a minute.
Yeah, OG taking a little bit more careful time through those lasers. Does miss that first cycle. Of course, Blackroot Burrows is an auto-scroller by and large, so gonna lose about half a cycle, which means a full cycle. He's gonna be just about 8 seconds slower from missing that cycle, but still very close race right now.
Yeah, it's not that. So missing the cycle obviously sucks, but it's only 8 seconds, and a lot of things, as I said, that can cost a lot more time. And we're gonna see from now is make it up to the lever and be able to get down to the Astray in just a second to see which type of cutscene skip they go for here. It looks like he's gonna go for this cutscene stack. As he picks up the orb of the save anywhere, he's gonna go place it in here, and then go and reload, which will allow him to stack the cutscenes and get the line movement to get out of Blackroot Burrows just a little bit faster.
Yeah, and it looks like both of our runners going for that same strategy here. Fairly recently, we have had another strategy developed using the light off of the tree to save, but that requires a little bit of a blind jump. And so some runners prefer not to do it and still use the old spot. And both of our runners are doing that and demonstrating good mastery of it.
Yeah, Prim got out just perfectly fine, didn't fall down into the pit, and see what OG2 in just a second here, and he makes it out just fine as well. As we're now moving over to Frankie Walk. As you noticed earlier, Prim does not have Magnet, so it's just a bit trickier, but if you've done it for a while, the movement it's not that much different, and Prim I expect would still know what to do here. However, if he does make a mistake here, it does cost as well a significant amount of time, because we can't save at all. But gets the energy, we'll get it in the door, we'll be able to get through here just fine. Death Gauntlet still is a bit tricky, but as the health to get through, to make his way over to the right, just going to kill these, which is really also one of the things that saves time with Quick Flame. Those rebels will die in one shot. He's made to the energy cell and will be able to place a safety save here, so he's not going to go back. As just Frankie Walk as well went pretty well too.
Yeah, and both of our runners actually getting energy drops from that Frankie. Always nice to see. I didn't see Prim drop a extra save with it, but OG's going to go ahead and do it, and oh, it's a good save. He went for Death Glide there. Might have fallen down into the spikes and taken a death, but that safety save would have saved him having to redo the entire Frankie Walk.
Yeah. Yeah, but so good saves, and he's going to save again, as Prim is just going to make it down here over towards the double jump tree, as OG is going to look to get his cycle here, and is not quite going to get it. So just a bit of time lost there, as well as Prim takes a bit of a death on the spikes. That one's only a few seconds, so not that big of a deal for now. So we're gonna get double jump tree.
Yep, and it looks like Prim is not going to be doing the blind movement off a double jump tree, so we'll expect to see him do a little bit of a game storage trick at Ginso tree instead. We'll see if OG follows suit or if he's going to do the old school blind movement.
That's going to be out of here, so good time save for now. OG is going to do the blind movement here, so we'll save just a few seconds now, but Prim's movement, when he gets to the Ginso tree in a few minutes, will be slightly faster with a cutscene skip there. So, the bit of a difference, bit of catch up from OG now that he's, so Prim will be able to make that up in a bit as we make our way. Good grotto skip so far, and it's going to make it up to climb these walls, which are a bit tricky, but this way.
Yeah, both of our runners having very clean runs thus far. Prim even getting that perfect wall jump cadence. OG, let's see here. He's going for this grotto skip. Second bounce off the wall so far. Ooh, it's giving a little trouble here.
Let's get it eventually. The more you mess up the trick, it makes it a bit harder because the platform swings. And OG also goes for back edge up and gets it first try, as Prim has made it to the top and has got his water vein.
Yep, now OG climbing that rock fall sequence, of course, without the rocks falling. Gotta love speed running this game and not having to deal with that.
Definitely not fun, and he is also going to be making his way over to the water vein now, as Prim is continuing to climb up here towards the Ginso tree. Let's see, I believe he's still doing the crazy juggle cycle, so he will be skipping the ability cell here. Yes, he does. So that's also another 8-second save there. But it's going to require a more difficult strat later in the run that we'll get to when we get to Sorrow. So more time save for now for Prim as he's get the TP and then make his way over to the Ginso tree.
And Prim does sneak that fast cycle on those swinging spike arms, which is beautiful to see.
Yeah, and we're now going to see the game storage Ginso from Prim. It's going to allow him to, if the save, he's going to be able to get into the Ginso tree just a bit faster by skipping this cutscene at the start of here with this reload. And yeah, so he's going to get in and saves a few extra seconds there, which is slightly faster than what OG did at the double jump tree, and coming in with a sub 1200 Ginso time, which is very good for Prim here.
Yeah, OG grabbing his swamp teleporter, making his way up. He'll be entering the Ginso tree in just a moment as well. Getting that cutscene skip, good stuff.
Yeah, and good stuff from Prim in the second room means that no trouble so far, and he's had a very good Ginso, and let's make his way up here but to get to the puzzle room. Second, he's going to go for the save and reload to get the fast cycle in the puzzle room as OG has made his way in just about 40 seconds ahead, entering Ginso, but definitely not time that can't be made up later.
Yeah, and we are seeing Prim do a few more technical strats, newer strats that are a little bit less forgiving, but definitely not any sort of slight against OG here, not going for those.
Yeah, and as well as Prim has been doing very well with those strats as well, and it's so far not been making a ton of mistakes, and that's really good. Not going to get the recycle mini boss, but still with the quick flame is able to kill it in 4 cycles, which will be a bit slower from OG without quick flame. So as Prim's going to go and grab the keystones and be able to do the ghost store and make it over to the bash tree just a bit.
Yep, we'll see OG go for his mini-boss here. We'll see if he can manage 4 cycles, but on controller, probably most likely he's aiming for 5.
Yeah, and this is one of the few things that you get with Quick Flame. But still, 5 cycles would be very good, and it looks like he's on track for that, as he gets to spawn on the right side, but still going to be able to secure the 5 cycle, as he's gotten his bash. Takes an extra damage there from one of the shots, but should still be fine to make it up here. Over towards the key dupe section in just a bit. I'm going to place a save down here so we can start the key dupe. Get up to the top platform here, and the damage he actually took earlier is not really going to matter because it means he doesn't have to take the damage who's there, so he's already at 3 HP, which is the perfect health to be set up for this key dupe, as OG is now just about to make it over to his bash tree. Still a bit behind, but as I said earlier, it's not time that can't be made up.
Yep, and Prim getting that nice wall climb here, using the invulnerability coming off of that save and reload mode. He's on a really good pace here, setting up for that hyperspeed, gets to jump over the flower, excellent stuff. Going into this mini-boss, much simpler than the other mini-boss, just bash his own projectile back into his face 3 times.
Fourth one, just going to be able to get the double bash, be able to get the 30 XP from there, which otherwise wouldn't be able to get there.
OG taking a bit of a death here, going all the way back to the bash tree. Was trying to set up that upper save for the key dupe, and unfortunately ran himself into the spikes twice.
Yeah, it can be a bit difficult if you don't get it. Sometimes it can, if you try to fall down and redo the save, and or actually if you kill the worm, and then you can't actually make it back up because then the worm is dead and he won't respawn and make a shot. So a bit unfortunate for OG there, but he's gonna get the second try and just get past the cutscene with lasers, and it's gonna be getting Ringo over here to get over to Swamp Entry.
Yep, nice sequence of bashes there to get Ringo into position. He grabs the ability cell and double bashes the shot. Oh, and it goes through the floor. Hate to see that happen. Ringo is an interdimensional wizard, does not like to have his shots hit the floor correctly.
you know, Ringo just, he just knew Prim was on a good pace and just really wanted to make sure that that didn't happen. But still, it's still a very good run from Prim. Unfortunately, yeah, the mesh is at slightly high angle, which is still a bit random, but the higher the angle makes it a bit more likely that it goes into the ceiling, so still a bit unfortunate there for Prim, but not the end of the world. It's still going to make it to stomp at a very, very good pace.
Yeah, Prim's on it, having a very good run. OG still as well, also having a good run. The only reason it doesn't look quite as good is because we've got Prim on the other screen.
Yeah, Prim who's having a very, very, very good run, so not like the best pace run, but still definitely 29 pace for sure. So very good run, which will important for him to improve his qualifier times as well, as we're gonna both runners using Ringo for different things. OG is still going into Swamp Entry as Prim is going to get the cell, exiting Swamp, and is going to make his way over to Kuro Cutscene Skip in a second as OG finishes up Swamp Entry.
Yeah, and OG playing here on controller, double bashing manually is very tricky to do that double bash Swamp Entry, so he goes for the old school bring Ringo with you strategy and does it first try.
Yeah, meanwhile, Prim was able to also get his Kuro Cutscene Skip first try, and going to be making his way over to the Charge Flame tree in just a few seconds here. He'll be able to get the skip, and OG is now making his way to Stomp Tree, so there is a big difference here, but it's not necessarily because OG is playing that badly, it's just because Prim is playing very, very well.
Yep, and Prim finally able to open up that new save anywhere, get more abilities leveled up so that he can skip this cutscene coming up. Of course, not having Charge Flame, not something we really think about in the speed run, except when it comes to not being able to level up all of the abilities, unfortunately.
So it means that you can't level up everything, so now we will be able to get Air Dash as well here, so it'd be nice for Prim needs to be able to get Charge Dash in just a bit here with the ability cells that he's going to be picking up in Valley, as OG is about to make his way over to his Kuro Cutscene Skip, which is set for a second, so we'll see if he's going to be able to get that first try. He sets up for it. Doesn't quite get the Cutscene Skip, isn't going to reload though, so just going to take the time loss from like here, as Prim is making his way into Valley.
Yep, doing that sequence of bashes and dashes, manipulating the enemies to give him the fastest route he can find through this area. Of course, everything in this area is rather deadly to our runners. The spikes will do 3 damage. They only have 4 health. All the enemies will do 2 damage. And now Prim is getting ready for his fast Stompless attempt. He's not going to throw down a safety save. He's just going to take the first shot and go. That looked pretty good.
Yeah, it looked pretty good. Actually a tiny bit high, but I think it was still pretty good. You're going to see in here in just a second. Does get it. A bit slow in the movement, but barely going to be able to make it back. Does get the cell, and is going to be able to make his way down to Feather here now, as it's magically teleported into the cutscene. OG's Frankie at Sea Flame is going to be a bit annoying and deciding that it doesn't want to jump down into a hole. And then after it does, it's going to chase him even more. So, not the nicest Frankie. But OG is still going to be able to get Sea Flame. Still a few minutes behind here, but still a very good time from OG. A ton of mistakes we've seen by either runner as Rim's going to make his way. Going to be able to do rocket jumps now that he's got Charge Dash, and then make his way over to Sorrow Bash to get into Sorrow early and get his charge jump.
And a textbook Sorrow Bash from Prim here that is about as clean as it gets.
Yeah, very, very well done, and we're gonna see this safer come down from Prim as he's gonna be going for Crazy Juggle here. So the safety save's nice here to make sure that this is a very, very difficult trick that if one small mistake could cost him a lot of time here, as the frog will die, and then he would have to reset. And so the save just means that wouldn't happen as he gets it well, not entirely perfect, but still a very well done there on Crazy Juggle. So gonna get the XP here, gonna place down a save and be able to skip this long cutscene because nobody wants to watch a 64-second cutscene at Sunstone.
Yeah, and that crazy juggle, every time that he charge dashes at that frog and cancels out of it, it's a 3-frame window to get that input. Oh no, OG having some trouble with his spiders, goes all the way back to the cutscene skip. That's a frustrating death.
Yeah, it was a bit frustrating, but fair. It's from that point. It's very difficult. The spider had died, so at that point, there's not really a ton he could do. Couldn't quite get up there, and so at that point, he kind of had to die since the spider isn't gonna come back really quickly. And a bit unfortunate though. So to be able to have to make his way back there. I believe the spider got hit by the shot from the lower spider, which caused it to take some extra damage, and so then it died, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, those spiders are just perfectly placed that they like to shoot each other when you're moving quickly, but they don't if you aren't, so sometimes a little bit frustrating.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate from OG, but he's going to make his way back up here now as Prim has gotten his charge jump and is now going to be making his way out of Sorrow and is going to now be getting over to Misty. Meter kick down, not going to place a save at the start, but is going to just go straight into Misty Woods and make his way over C. A lot of very fast movement here as OG not quite getting Stompless on the first try. But he's going to go back for a second attempt. Shot did hit the ceiling there, so he's going to have to go and try again.
Yeah, good eyes to catch that from OG. It's right in the corner of the screen. Oh no, takes it. Oh no, another death all the way back. We got frustrated mouse wiggles from the controller player.
Yeah, it's definitely an unfortunate death there. Valley is an area that is very unforgiving. Especially since once you get through Valley, when you get to Feather, it's the one tree that doesn't refill your energy, so you don't want to you really don't want to save, and that's like one of the basically is the biggest death that you could take in the run. So definitely unfortunate there from OG, but it comes with the risk as Prim has gotten through the first half of Misty very perfectly flawlessly and is going to make his way over to the second half with Climb now. So one of the other skills that we don't really do that much with in the run.
Yep. OG dropping a safety save this time before he climbs up to the birds. We'll see if he decides to place additional safety saves. Yep, he's going to drop one right before going through the spiders as well. So has plenty of safety here. We'll probably see him go for a save on the Valley Teleporter after getting Feather just to refill his energy before he heads into Sorrow.
Yeah. Always. So after you die, sometimes it could be if you're feeling frustrated. OG also gonna miss Stompless one more time, so this is very difficult on controller. The window is very small, but unfortunately, it's like he's maybe not gonna be going for Stompless this time. He's just gonna go up and bash the rocks. As Prim is, as we're focusing on OG, Prim has done very well in Misty and is making his way now through. Gonna hit the mini boss as well. Done just tiny bit slow, so it didn't quite get perfect one cycle, but still very well done as he's making his way out of Misty now and over towards the end of the run. Is very fast run so far from Prim.
Yeah, very, very nice bang zoom there to kill that mini boss. Looks like the second boss just barely dodged a little bit of damage, but Prim on top of things just stomped him as he went into the ground. So got him finished off, didn't have to wait for him to respawn for another cycle. And both our players now on the Valley Teleporter at the same time.
Fortunately not quite even with each other at the Valley Teleporter. They're there at doing some different things. OG's still got a lot to do there as he's actually not quite going to be able to get the rocket jump and is going to have to redo that, as well as Prim is going to be hoping to save anywhere. Going to go and take damage here and make his way down to the grenade tree. After some insta-kill lasers that he has to walk past, which could kill him, but if he does the cycle right, it's going to be quick. He gets through the cycle as OG fortunately takes another death on Sorrow Bash.
Yeah, it looks like his charge dash ended up targeting a bird that he didn't intend there, so he was trying to adjust for it. No, he is going to charge dash the second bird.
Yeah, because with his method, that bird is not actually the one that he's going to be using for Sorrow Bash, so he's going to So it's okay to charge dust that one, but unfortunately it does take some damage there and he's going to have to redo it.
And it looks like he's gonna go for a safety save up here at the top, get an energy refill, and try again.
Yeah. So they're trying to do, because he saved on the teleporter, he doesn't need to necessarily save at the top because he already has a lot of energy, and you only really need 4 energy up here in Sorrow. So he chose not to save at the teleporter there, which did cost him some time, and still having some trouble with Sorrow Bash. Meanwhile, Prim is making his way out of Blackroot Burrows as well, and he's gonna make his way over here through Grove and gonna make his way over towards Horror Fields and to the final dungeon of the game. It should be finishing up here in just a few minutes. So we having to get this. Already has 5 HP, not gonna get the 6 health cell, and yeah, he's gonna be getting Horror Fields. Not gonna do grenade jump, but just gonna be using some charge dashes here and make his way over here to and gonna save 2 energy for Warm Skip as well.
Yep, and OG has made it into Sorrow now, made it through Sorrow Bash, went actually with a manual controller double bash there to maneuver the bird in just the way that he needed to because it wasn't quite behaving for him. So good for him, gets through those spikes and will get his charge jump tree here and head up to the Sunstone. Meanwhile, eyes on the left as Prim is going to do some game storage and some blind movement in the final escape.
Yeah, you can go for Warm Skip here. Does get it at the start here. Only has 2 energy as well, so it's a bit difficult. But this blind movement, just for the first 2 rooms, gets through it nicely done, and just be able to make his way over through the rest of the final escape. It's a bit here. It's a bit tough as well, but if he gets this movement correct, he's still on a very good pace as well. So looking like eventually get a low 29 here if he does this well. So position on the fish, should be able to get through here without taking 5 damage. Does it just fine, and is now going to be able to make his way up to the escape. Just the grenade jump left, and gets this grenade jump. So done. Looking to finish around 29:10.
Yeah, excellent run from Prim there. It's always a pleasure to see a run like that, and he pulled it off in a tournament. So always great to see. Meanwhile, as Prim is doing nothing but holding right, we've got OG. He's got his Sunstone. He's done with Sorrow. He's just going to stomp his way out and head to Misty.
Yeah, make his way out of here. Definitely, that's some unfortunate parts of this run, but still important to try to finish this run strong. So you still got to do that. Still, it is very difficult, especially after making a lot of frustrating mistakes, in fact, like OG did, to keep going. So it's got him to keep going with this run and try to do as best as possible as he can to finish out the run. As Prim finishes 29:10 will be his final time. Yeah, it's very frustrating, especially like with the deaths he took in dying multiple times in Valley, and then also the Sorrow Bash. That's where it's very frustrating to like lose all that time, and could be something for many runners wouldn't necessarily want to continue that run. So props to OG for continuing on with this run and trying to go and finish out as best as he can.
Yeah, something that we don't as runners think about a lot in something like this is, you know, when we take a death like that or a couple deaths like that when we're grinding away for a PB or practicing or something, we kind of just say, oh well, I guess this run's dead, and we reset it. But in a race situation like that, you don't have that option. You just kind of have to take a breath and go for it again. And OG has recovered nicely. He's made it to the climb tree, and now he gets to work his way out the back half of Misty.
Still, if he finishes he can still do really well. The Misty so far has been very good, despite the deaths before. Still looking good here to eventually have a good Misty so far. So, still a very difficult area. It takes damage on the spikes, but should still be good to be able to make it through here. Is at 1 HP. Not going to save just yet, so see when he chooses to do it. If he chooses to save it all. As to make his way through the end here. Just going to charge dash that slime to make sure that it doesn't actually hit him, because sometimes it can do some damage. And make his way over here. Very good movement here from OG. not actually going to be placing a save here, is still at 2 HP, so if he does die, we'll go back to the climb tree. I'm just choosing not to go for this rocket jump, so just a bit of safety with that way, and make his way over to the mini-boss in just a bit as he finishes out what was a very good Misty, despite the earlier mistakes in the run.
Yep, and very clean, perfect boss kill there. Instantly dead. Blinked and you missed it. And yeah, great to see OG able to reset himself mentally after taking those frustrating deaths, get himself back on the run, and then pull out a Missy Woods like that, which was honestly about as clean as you can get.
Yeah. It was very good Misty now, and just going to be making its way over to the last skill tree of the game, and then over to the final escape. So still a bit of time left, but still only a few more minutes left in this run, and yeah, I was just saying, well done from OG, and he can still finish this out strong if he can get here, and yeah, very good run in the end game, and still going to try to continue that on until the end.
Yep, taking that death to get the lever glitch going, and just working his way down through the zigzag, heading down to get his last skill of the game, the light grenade, of course.
Yeah,
good timing on that laser as well.
Yeah, and be able to get this save here. Make sure you don't have to watch this cutscene. Nobody wants to watch long cutscenes. And he's now going to be making his way down here to the light grenade tree, and yeah, and as for the other runners in this race, so this is still a qualifier, so there are 8 runners that were participating in this race. Prim, with that great time of 29:10, was the first runner to finish in this race. Muffin finished second place with 30:24, and Cheese Lover third place with 31:20. I believe Fell just finished with 32:45 at fourth place, so OG still might be able to get fifth in this qualifier. So very good other times as well.
Yeah, and seeing Covert Muffin posting in the race chat, that was a 4-second PB for him in the category, so congratulations, Covert Muffin.
Yeah, and that was after his, I believe that it was 4 seconds off the PB run that he got earlier today as well. So, or in one of the other races, so really good from him to keep going as OG. Yeah, now just a few minutes left, so we're gonna make his way over to Horror Fields, do some more charge dashes to get through here. See if it's not gonna also go for the grenade jump here, which is totally fine, and make his way and just do some more charge dashes and make his way over to Mount Haru. So just a few minutes left here, finishing with probably a time around low 36 or OG. Not the run he would have wanted, but still a good finish with that start.
Yeah, and just this one last frame perfect trick. Door warp, of course, the bane of many a runner. If it starts to go wrong, OG, no problems whatsoever, gets it first try and heads his way into his final escape.
Yeah, gonna go here. Not doing warm skip, so but totally okay. Just another very difficult trick, and sometimes you don't need to add more difficult tricks to already difficult runs. So OG, yeah, low 36 pace, definitely for sure here if he does a good escape, which he's very much capable of doing, especially with the end game of this run that has been good. And yeah, I'm just gonna be getting through this escape, just a bit left in this run, and yeah, gonna try to finish out here strong in the escape. To make his way over to the swim, the one really difficult part here, and make sure that he is able to survive through the swim. If he does only have 5 HP, but the fish position looks good so far, and he's going to make it through. So they'll be able to just the final grenade jump left before OG is able to close out this run.
And it looks like he's going to decline to do that grenade jump, just take the old school way, eat both halves of the cutscene, so that'll wind him up with about a 37, I believe.
Yeah, it'll be just around 37 minutes flat for OG here. Definitely understandable as well, especially if you're frustrated with the runs. The grenade jump has potential of soft locking and making you have to do escape again, which you can assume at this point that it's not something that OG would really want to do. So, especially since this time is not going to be counting towards his qualifiers, as he already had. Hopefully, this already has some better times that it will be getting later. So, those 40 seconds are not going to be that much of a difference, and prefer to just not have to do the escape again.
Yeah, and very respectable choice there. You know, especially if the run's been a little bit frustrating. You aren't thinking it's going to be one that you're going to use as one of your best 3. OG, I am noticing showing off the random color code here in this final sequence, changing Ori's color when he has the chance to. So, still having some fun with things.
Yeah, as to finishing up here, I believe this is, I guess, be just, oops, gonna go for the Nar hops here, so not quite gonna be able to get under 37 minutes, but gonna hit it at 37 flat, 0.76 to finish off OG's run. Bit of a rough run, but still, finished it out very well at the end.
Yes, indeed. And we've still got 2 more runners going. We had Turtle Run finish in 5th place out of our 8 with a time of 36:43, just ahead of OG with his 37. 2 more runners, Sia Rainey and Sarah Barron, still going.
We're now joined by OG and Prem for interviews for this run, so GG's on your run.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, look, I would only have 1 G there. That sure was something.
Yeah. Yeah, but for Prem as well, I was to say, it was a very good run for you as well, so good job. How are your thoughts on that run?
Yeah, I mean, while it was happening, like, I tend to get very critical of myself sometimes, and it was like so many like little things were going wrong, or like medium things. You know, that wall jump was pretty rough. Miss Grotto cycle had a phase through, and it was just like, oh my god, it's all adding up. But I knew that, you know, I'd practiced late game a good amount in the days leading up to this qualifier. And I knew just based on the pace then that if I could just like collect myself and do what I knew how to do, that I would still get a really good time. And that's how it went, fortunately.
Yeah, it's just since there was, like, and the small mistakes counted up, especially since there's like, you didn't have like a ton of like big mistakes that really cost a lot of time. So it's good at least for that on that front.
Yeah, definitely. Although I might have almost had one on the first room of Ginso.
Yeah, that was a little bit dicey. Jumping over at OG, I want to commend you for, you know, getting yourself reset, and once you got into Sorrow, playing a very clean back end of the run. You looked very confident. Didn't seem that your difficulties in Valley were bothering you at all at that point.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because pretty much every split that I screwed up were all the splits that I was practicing. Like, I've done, you know, not all that much practice sort of from C-Jump onwards. I've done quite a bit of, you know, anti-Ginso practice, quite a bit of Charge Flame to Charge Jump practice. And, like, I've got no idea what on earth happened in that feather split. It was something. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't even nervous, to be honest. You know, all of my nerves had sort of died down by that point because there had been a decent number of mistakes elsewhere, and I figured the run was, well, you know, the race was pretty dead. But that was an experience, yeah.
Yeah, the one thing that I saw is that the spider, the one time the spider had gotten hit by the other spider, it caused it to die, so that you can't get up, which that one's really unfortunate, and a lot of things that, yeah, it does really suck, especially in Valley, since those deaths can cost like multiple minutes if you mess up. But yeah, it's a good job, and still continuing that run and having a good late game at the end.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be interested to open up my actual splits because I had a look and I think I've got 37 basically on the dot. So I'm guessing that like 5 of those 6 minutes are going to be in Valley. That I'll be like +1 at Charge Flame and then like +6 at Charge Jump. So yeah, because I mean, of course, as soon as I, decide to make them save at the top and just go, screw Fast on Plus, I don't care anymore, let's just get this run over with. Of course, when I say what more can go wrong, I screw up Sorry Bash about 5 times, so, that's how it goes.
Because you saved in the teleporter, so you were trying to because then so you already have the energy, so you're not saving at the top, right? Because you don't need that energy to get the Rusaro.
Yeah, I mean, with the route that I normally take, normally I'll put a save down at Feather to level Charge Dash, so then I'm at 4. But because of all the saves that I was putting down before, it's just like, okay, I'm just gonna go to the teleporter. I'm just gonna eat this time loss because it's like so inconsequential compared to all the time that I've already lost.
Yeah, and especially if you've already made some mistakes, just placing the extra safety saves and down and getting the teleporter save, which only is it's this save on the teleport itself is 4 seconds, and getting up the movement there is only a few more, so that 7 to 8 seconds is not as big as going back to Spirit Tree with a 1.5-minute death again.
Yeah, but the 4th time, I think I died 2 or 3 times. Yeah, it was great.
So I saw 2 at least. It might have been a 3rd, which is
at least,
very rough. Yeah. So, yeah.
All right, Primorix, I know you've got, that was your 4th run, dropped your average down below 30 minutes, I believe. Do you plan on doing a 5th qualifier, or is that going to be it for you?
Yeah, I'm hoping to do one more, probably Sunday. We'll see. Sometime over the weekend, there's certainly plenty left. Just want to try to get that, seed to be as good as I can to avoid some scary matchups earlier than I would like.
All right, and OG, how about you? You've got at least one more that you're going to be doing to get yourself a time. Are you planning on doing 4 or 5, or just the 3?
I can probably only do 3 or 4 because the time slots here in Australia are 1 a.m., 5 a.m., and 10 a.m. So this was the 10 a.m. time slot. So I might do the 1 a.m. one tonight. I mean, it can't be worse than this run, right? And then we'll see in terms of the other ones, yeah.
All right, well, good luck to both of you in your future qualifier runs. Lion, when can we pick up some more Ori?
Yeah, so the next restream that we're going to see for the tournament will be the 9 p.m. UTC match on Sunday. April 3rd will be the restream, and before then as well, there are only 5 qualifiers left. There are 3 tomorrow on Saturday, 2 and then 1. So at 5 p.m., 9 p.m., and then 2 a.m. UTC on Sunday, and then 5 and 9 p.m. on Sunday. So sure, if you haven't completed your qualifiers, to do the rest of those qualifiers as well. And then after that, we're just going to get into the bracket matches. So, yeah. So, next restream next week on Sunday, and then the rest are going to be after that for the bracket.
All right, sounds good. Looks like we'll see folks on Sunday. Again, that is Sunday at 9 p.m. Universal Coordinated Time, or Greenwich Mean Time if you're old school. I'm Jay Halcyon. I've been joined by Lion Elminar, and of course, Prim and OG are runners. And thanks, of course, to Rin for trucking for us, feeding us some stats at 4 a.m. in the morning, where he is. And thanks to our restreamer, Super Fluffy Koala. Have a good day, everyone.